The special counsel Jack Smith has come out swinging against Judge Aileen Cannon in the classified documents case. He is not happy at all with some of the moves that she's made. And for context, you should understand that Aileen Cannon, who is a judge who was put on in the court, thanks to Donald Trump, has been perfectly willing through the course of this case to make decisions and choices that benefit Donald Trump, but none perhaps as biased as the one that he's responding to now. And it has to do with this. She has, in the recent past, asked the lawyers on the different sides to write jury instructions. So this is how the jury is going to be told to think about what is presented to them about the Presidential Records Act, which you've probably heard a lot about from Donald Trump and Fox News, basically all people who don't know anything about it and don't care, but they think it's a get out of jail free card. So she has said for them to write jury instructions, which says that presidential records belong to the public and are to be turned over to the National Records and Archives and Records Administration at the end of a presidency, but also to craft jury instructions that assume that the PRA allows presidents to designate any documents as personal at the end of a presidency, which is what Trump's legal team has argued that he had the authority to do. And Trump has said he's done. Notably, at least as far as I've seen, his legal team has never claimed in court that he's done it. You know why? Because there's no evidence that he did it. But basically, she then said that they should also write separate jury instructions predicated on the idea that jurists would be able to determine which of the documents he's accused of illegally retaining are personal and which are presidential.
Before we continue with the story, we depend on members to keep on going. Don't wait, click join now on YouTube.
Nothing that she said so far means that they're going to pretend that he can declassify all of this by like thinking hard about it and it's totally up to him. But she has left open the door that that's potentially what they could do. Now, no objective legal observer thinks that that's how any of this is supposed to work. And on top of it, again, there's no evidence that he did any of this, that he declassified anything. In fact, Jack Smith has said that he's got many witnesses willing to testify that Donald Trump never did any of that stuff, and they were in positions to know. And so at this point, we're very worried about Aileen Cannon potentially like slanting the instructions, slanting the jury in a way that sets up for Donald Trump to win this thing when he 100% stole those documents. It is indisputable at this point. I feel very confident in saying that. And I want to give you just a little bit of what the special counsel said. It's in a legal sense, the same as kind of like me going on a rant. He's more together, he's a professional or whatever, but here's what he said. The PRA's distinction between personal and presidential records has no bearing on whether a former president's possession of documents containing national defense information is authorized under the Espionage Act. And the PRA should play no role in the jury instructions. Indeed, based on the current record, the PRA should not play any role at trial at all. They've been claiming from the very beginning that the PRA has nothing to do with this. It's the Espionage Act. And honestly, now we're just waiting to find out, is Aileen Cannon going to give Trump his way? Is she gonna get her way? Could she potentially be taken off of the case? And even if that happened, and I understand why many people watching might want that to happen because she's been so clearly biased, but if that happened, what sort of delay would that introduce into this thing? And I will remind you that while there are some cases that Trump could not merely snap his fingers and get rid of if he becomes president, this is one of those that very plausibly he could. And so if they replace Aileen Cannon to get a fairer shake from the judge, they may get no shake from the judge because the thing might take too long to finalize. And if Trump becomes president, then that might be it. I apologize, Sharon. There's a lot going on and I've had a lot of caffeine. What do you make of all this?
Well, you're just chugging along. I agree with all of what you've said. And it's not just that she's biased. She's presenting a very dippy judicial argument when she makes them. She also won't make decisions. He's saying, can you just rule on this so then I can appeal and win? That's how ridiculous it is. I love sketch comedy, but it's starting to feel like, when's the mask gonna come off from Judge Cannon and it's Jimmy Kimmel? Because it's just not making any sense. You know what I mean? Making zero sense, stop it. And you're right, Trump's golden either way.
Well, if it is someone behind the mask and they're making absolutely no sense, I think it's unlikely to be Jimmy Kimmel. Has anyone seen Rudy Giuliani recently?
Oh my goodness.
What's he been up to? In any event, one thing that I think is worth pointing out that the producers of the show pointed out is, you notice that like Donald Trump doesn't go 10 minutes between messages on Truth Social attacking the judges. He hates the judges, they're unfair. Aileen Cannon, though, he doesn't really seem to have much of a problem with her. And I think we all understand why.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.